is gonna put the FL Soft Clipper to shame. It says you can push it as hard as you want. That's pretty dang cool, if I must say. Ableton just released a huge update for Live 12.1 beta that changes the game for anyone that's interested in getting 12 or anyone that already has it. And if you can't tell, I'm very excited to talk about this today because we got a lot of good stuff in here. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the updates in the future. We're going to go into detail in some of these things that we're going to talk about here today. So today we're going to look at the release notes from Ableton. We're actually going to jump into the new update beta, and I'm going to show you guys some of the things in action, and then I'll show you how to download it. It's pretty easy. So here we go. Live 12.1 adds auto shift, drum sampler, and more now in public beta. So if you already have Ableton 12, you probably received an email this morning from Ableton talking about this and showing you how you can go ahead and download it. We'll take a look at that in a little bit, but as you can hear, we got auto shift. Do you know what that is? It's like auto tune, but it's stock to Ableton. Let's jump in here. Auto shift, real-time pitch tracking and correction device. Live 12.1 now puts real-time pitch correction within reach for anyone working with vocals. Select a scale or define your own to keep every note in tune within your track. Play and make harmonies from any monophonic signal using auto shift's MIDI sidechain. Add vibrato and modulate your sounds using the MPE or the device's LFO. Yeah, as you can see right here, they didn't just give us a standard auto tune. We have all the controls that you need and more. So in 12.1, we can go into our audio effects right here and let's grab auto shift. And boom, there we go, loading it up. As you can see, we have a quantizer right here and we have an LFO. So we can turn on an LFO and get even crazier with it. You could do those Post Malone, so you can get detailed with this. But let's go back over to the quantize. Here you can select the notes you want, or you can have it select the scale that you're using. And as we know, Ableton has the scale awareness now, so it makes it super simple. All you have to do is click this little button up here and it's going to take the scale that you have selected. Otherwise, you can select the individual notes you want. There's smoothing, strength, formant, pitch, vibrato. There's everything you'd expect here. You can even pick the tone of your voice right here, and you can have a MIDI input and you can set all that up here as well. It goes absolutely nuts, and we're definitely going to dive deeper into this in the next video. But for now, let's jump back into the notes because we have the drum sampler, and this one I am extremely excited about. This is a compact one-shot sampler with built-in effects. So anytime you're using one-shots, whether it's drums or it could even be if you're making melodies with one-shots, you're gonna have a lot more flexibility and control with this thing. Beat making becomes more fluid with this small but mighty device. The new drum sampler presents all essential sampling controls for immediate manipulation and pairs them with time stretch and looping modes, FM and ring modulation, and the ability to layer a sub-oscillator or noise, add punch, or crush sounds with an 8-bit mode. So there's a lot of stuff. Let's check this out. So here we go. This is what it looks like, but we have to go into our instruments to find this, and then we'll just go ahead and double click on a drum sampler. And it'll load up just like a simpler or a sampler would. So now we have to go and find a sample that we want to use. And we'll just use this seasoning kick right here. But as you can see, once you put the sample in, you have all of these controls, right? You have your gain, you have your length, kind of what you would expect in simpler and sampler, start position, you have attack, hold, decay. You can also change your mode to gating if you want to use it on 808s and have fun with the midis. You can do your detune and transpose. There's things that we'd expect, but here's some of the new stuff. We have an FX section, and each one of these does something a little different. So we can stretch the sample, loop the sample, affect the pitch envelope, punch, 8-bit. This one's really cool. Check this out. See how cool that is? Just the coolest thing ever. So maybe not the best on your kick, you'd have to tune it in, but you get the idea. It's still very, very cool. So let's check out some of these other ones. We have a sub-oscillator as well. That's badass. You can turn your kick into an 808 right there. Probably a perfect sounding kick and 808 combo right out the box. That's pretty awesome. And you can select the frequency here if you want to change this. That's pretty dang cool, if I must say. This thing's amazing. The one thing, though, that I wish they would have added was the drum shapers, because that's one thing I really love about Simpler and Sampler is the shapers in it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if we go into Simpler right here, we can go down here into our filter types and we can change this to MS2. We get a drive knob. And if we have Sampler, we can go into our filter and global, and you can use this shaper over here as well. If we go to our circuit types, you can pick MS2 again. And right here, you can pick your different shapers as well. So this is something that I wish we had in this other sampler. But if you have Ableton 12 anyways, now we have Roar, which has all of that stuff. Here we go. Yeah, we got Roar, and we have a lot of the same controls here. We can pick our shaper, and we have way more shapers. So if you have 12, you can just combine these together. You can even make this an effect rack, and then you have them going together like that. Ableton must have been listening to our feedback, because now they're auto-tagging all of our samples. You can now search your entire user library faster with filters. There's no need to tag the samples yourself. Live 12.1 automatically assigns new tags to any sample in your library that's longer than a minute. VST plugins will also be assigned tags based on their metadata. That's really cool too. So this is probably going to take a long time to do. When you first load it up, as you can see, mine just says analysis processing 2000 left. It's said that for about an hour now. So it's got to go through all of my samples and auto tag them. It's probably going to take absolutely forever, but once it does it, and you don't have to worry about it again. And I haven't seen my computer slow down. We also have an improved limiter and saturator. The limiter gets a complete overhaul, smoother release curve, making for less distortion, better metering with the improved UI, and the additions of mid-side routing, true peak, soft clip, and maximize modes. Oh, this is interesting. They added a soft clip to the limiter as well. That's dope. Along with more focused front panel, saturator sees the addition of bass shaper curve, ideal for low-end processing. What? Drive 808 kicks and sub basses as hard as you'd like, and let saturator keep the frequencies in check. Are you serious? Let me see about this. Holy smokes, it looks completely different. Oh yeah, wow. Like, wait, what is going on here? Okay, cool. So you select it here. We have the bass shaper, which is the new one. And it's supposed to keep everything in check for you. It says you can push it as hard as you want. Looks like you have an amount of low end. No clip, soft clip, or hard clip. Let's do a soft clip. Okay, and then if you click this down arrow, it opens up all the other stuff. I was wondering, I was like, aren't we missing a couple things? But hold on, we have a whole wave shaper in here now. What the heck? Let's turn this down to a usable level. Let's see what this color curve is even doing. Let's see what Ableton has to say. Let's hover over here. This display allows to control the two coloration filters. Makes sense. Ooh, you hear that? So let's take a look at this limiter as well here. And wow, the limiter has a huge update as well. Let's just turn off the saturator for now. Oh, look at how nice and sexy that looks. Damn, Ableton, let's go. Okay, so you got your look ahead over here. We have a standard soft clip and a true peak. Wow, Ableton. This is gonna put the FL soft clipper to shame. This thing is beautiful. Look at it.
Would you look at this?
MIDI improvements. You can now filter and select MIDI notes by time, pitch, velocity, chance, duration, or by a number of other dimensions using a new toolbar in the MIDI editor. Yeah. This is interesting. 12.1 also introduces two new MPE-specific MIDI transformations. They're adding more. What do you know? Glissando, Glizzy, LFO, allowing you to create curves for the MPE parameters of the selected note. If we go ahead and make a MIDI note here, you see this whole new section at the top, and it allows us to filter our notes. So if we just add in a bunch of random notes here, Maybe we even generated them using Ableton's generators. Now, if we go ahead and select this, you have to turn this on, right? Okay, so once you click on it, it turns it on, and now you can go ahead and filter everything by these different parameters. So if you want to filter it by pitch, you pick the pitches you want to filter. So maybe we only want it to show or filter D, D sharp, F, and A. So now we can see all the notes in our melody that are those right there, and it highlights them for us. But the thing that was interesting to me is it still plays all of the notes. So it still plays them even if they're filtered, but I think this is just you can search and look for them. And we have 2 new MIDI transformations, and I think we actually have 3, because I don't remember Chop being here. Do you guys remember Chop? Chop wasn't here when I've made my other videos, but we can now chop them like this as well as you can do with your keyboard. So yeah, if you press Command and E or Control and E on Windows, you can go ahead and do this and you can slide up and down. So we're able to do a similar thing like that, but we now have more control using this chop. That's very interesting. I didn't notice that before. Maybe I'm crazy. Let me know. We also have Glissando. So this is one Glizzando, the Glizzy Gladiators. So this is one of their new ones. And let's see. Okay. Interesting. So this is how you make a glissando. Maybe not the best use case for it. Connects note pitches with MPE pitch bend. Okay, so maybe that's the reason. Oh, okay, so this is MPE capable as well. So that plays into it. But we also have the LFO, and this one looks pretty dang cool. What the heck? This one is MPE as well. Generates a low frequency oscillation as MPE curves. Switch to MPE view mode to see and edit the results. Oh, okay, you can even click right here and we can do it from the pitch bend, slide, or the pressure. Lastly, we have some updates for the push. You can create more intuitively on the push now. So on the push 2 and 3, you can now design sounds with more detail and controlling them with macros. You can experiment with a range of different sounds using macro variations. So it looks like you just have more controls that you didn't have before. Push 3 now also allows you to add grooves instantly to all the MIDI clips in your set with a single twist of an encoder. This new update brings the filtering system to the browser as well as the auto tagging for the samples. So there you go. That's pretty dope. Let me show you how you can download this beta and start using it yourself. So you should have received an email like this. Pitch correction is coming in live 12.1. And you can see all the new features that we talked about right there on that page, or you can sign up and try the beta now. So that's what we're going to do. It'll take you to this page that says Ableton Beta Program and go to the live beta testing portal. Now this is going to require you to have an Ableton 12 license. At first I was like, can anyone just download this? Because it uses a different account technically, but in a step I'm going to show you, you actually have to authorize it. Keep that in mind here. So you have to sign in, and I actually used a different account. I used a Google account to do this. And once you get in here, you'll see right away that you can view the bugs and reports. So if you're having issues, you can submit your issues there. You can also submit your suggestions. And as you can see, there's a ton of them. Now, if you want to grab the beta, you're going to go right here to live 12, and you're going to go down to beta releases right here. And from here, you can click on live 12.1. And then if you have a Mac, you click there, otherwise window, and then you just go ahead and download that, follow it like regular. And then once you open up Ableton, it's probably going to say database not found, and you can just press OK and don't even worry about it. Once you authorize Ableton, that'll go away. All you do is you go into your preferences here. Well, I guess Ableton calls it settings now. And then you go into your licenses right here, and you're going to say authorize at ableton.com, log into your account. You're good to go. And we're going to be creating more detailed videos on each of these topics coming in the following day. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe that so you don't miss out on all those dope updates, so I can show you guys how to use these dope plugins, especially on your drums and 808s. There's so many things here to make banger trap beats even easier for us. So I'm super excited to dive into these. Let me know in the comments below, which thing are you most excited about? And if you've made it this far into the video, man, I appreciate you so much. It really helps the channel grow when you watch the entire video. And if you didn't know, we have a bunch of free drum kits on our website that you should grab at the very least, and you can check out some of the sales if you want to while you're over there. But this trap kit right here, you got to have this if you make trap beats. It literally has every single sound that you need. And if you want to see all the other updates from Ableton Live 12, definitely check out this video next. I break everything down.